got rhythm. They've been sitting in a motor coach all night, waiting to go out today.
Well, since it's a bad hair day all around, we decided to bring up Speed Girl Robin to help the look of the show and help us out.
But her hair looks good. What are you trying to say? Her hair looks good.
Her hair is fine.
Yeah.
It's just us that have the problems. Ready to spin? All right. Robin is going to spin the wheel here, and now, oh, wait, right in the middle. This is for the ticket deal for the All-Star race.
I'm not going to make the call. Oh, there you go.
If you buy 5, you save 50%.
Perfect.
We kind of cheated a little bit, but you can dial 1-800-455-FANS, and the limited number of callers will get the deal that Robin has brought to us. Buy 5 and save 50%. There are a limited number, but the call-in offer is good through the end of the weekend. Now let's get some final thoughts. Go down to Bob Dillner. Bob?
Well, Johnny, it sure is windy here today at Martinsville. You know, you're looking for a sleeper for this event. This is one car that I want you to take a look at. Joey Logano in the Home Depot number 20 machine. Went to a backup car because he got into the wall yesterday, but this is a very good race car, the same race car that he finished both races here at the Paperclip last year in the top 6 with. Joey, very good at this racetrack. Keep an eye on him in qualifying and the race, Randy.
I want to talk to you about a flavor of Martinsville, a little bit of a flavor here. You know, a lot of people lining up to get in the gates here, but there's a big line here for one reason and one reason only, inside, and that's for the Martinsville hot dog. Everybody lined up. I just saw Dick Bergeron get a couple. Drivers been in line. The most famous hot dog in all of racing. It is pretty good, too. I'll give you a sense of it. For just $2, you get a little chili on there. You get a little coleslaw. Oh, my God. It is so, so good. And a couple of drivers. I know. Bob Dillner, I think, had like 15 in one day, but they're pretty good.
And I will say this. He is exactly right. It is well worth that $2 because it'll last you all week long. It just keeps coming back.
Well, as long as it's hot, that's the problem. Anything hot is good right now because it's a little bit chilly here at Martinsville. But you know what? Mike Joy and company, they're smart, Kyle. You know why?
They're out of the wind.
They're out of the wind and up inside the broadcast booth, and they will make the call as we set the grid for 500 laps of beating and banging here at Martinsville. It's one of the funnest races all year long, and we will have it for you here, the qualifying, in just a moment. Let's go to Mike Joy.
Look at that flag. It's the windiest day we can remember for NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying at the short track that thinks it's a speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. I mean, the wind is whipping everything. I think a motor coach was up on 2 wheels a little bit ago.
That's Hammond's tent.
I told him not to feed those animals.
That's not funny. Gusts to 40 miles an hour. Beautiful sunny day as the wind blows pretty much west to east and south to north. And there'll be a lot of hot air emanating from this booth as well. Hi, everybody.
No, I can't believe you would say that.
And welcome to Qualify. It's on my own behalf. All right. Interesting situation here at Martinsville because yesterday the track was not taking rubber. Instead, there were a lot of marbles up to the top of the racetrack. All the practice was done yesterday, so Darrell, you come in here with a tire combination you're not quite sure of, and you get to wait and wait and wait to run 2 laps, and that's it.
Well, the good news is there isn't any more practice, so you won't really know. You don't have to worry about it till tomorrow as far as tire situation go. But you do have the truck race this afternoon. Right. They'll get some laps around here. We'll see what the tires do for them. Nobody seems to be terribly worried. They think the tire will be fine. It is wearing a little differently than what we've seen here in the past, but it's a new tire. So I think we got to put that out of our mind, and we just got to go with what we got, and everything will be fine.
Agree. But, Darrell, I think you had to leave here scratching your head a little yesterday because you couldn't get any drive up off the corner.
Yeah, well, the cars are definitely looser than they've ever been here before. I've heard everybody here talk about it. You saw Jimmy Johnson spin out yesterday. Right. So we got a loose car, and we got tires that are wearing a little funky. That could get to that right rear in a hurry. That's probably the problem area if we have one.
So, Larry, you've had all night to think about it and all morning to deal with it. What do you do?
Yeah, there is a lot of head scratching. I think because of a lot of the elements that you pointed out, Mike, and Darrell pointed out, the fact that there's no more practice. All the practice was yesterday. Nobody could really get their cars hooked up. And when you look at the qualifying order, it's set by the slowest to the fastest of practice. I know we go to Talladega in a couple of weeks, the fastest track. We'll have no idea when qualifying rolls out who's going to sit on that pole. I feel the same about about this qualifying session. I don't know that anybody down there knows exactly can they run fast enough to sit on the pole, but the biggest question, can I back up what I did in practice? That's tough to do here on those cold tires with no heat in anything.
All right, we came in here with 45 cars entered. Derek Cope withdrew. Dennis Setzer had a hard crash yesterday, and that team does not have a backup. So 43 cars will qualify and then line up for tomorrow's race on the paperclip.
Hello, sunshine, sweet as you can be.
Wake up to sweetness with Honey Nut Cheerios cereal. Kissed with real honey. And the 100% natural whole grain oats can help lower your cholesterol.
You are so sweet to me.
Be happy, be healthy.
It's time to take matters into your own hands. AutoZone's got the advice and expertise you need to take on any job, because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
It's tough to run with congestion, so I'm taking charge with Claritin D. It relieves even my worst allergy symptoms. Nothing works stronger, faster, or longer for nasal congestion and sinus pressure without drowsiness. I only live Claritin Clear with Claritin D.
Truth is, if you don't have your motorcycle insurance where you have your car insurance, you're paying too much. At Allstate, when you combine, you save up to 30%. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects the rider better than Allstate.
Okay, hold your line. Hold your line. Middle is good. Shoot the middle. There's the bottom. You got it. You got it. Oh, no.
NASCAR The Game 2011.
Okay, buddy, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Rated E for everyone.
Welcome to an exclusive tour of the 2011 NASCAR Nationwide Series. We have big changes to discuss and new faces to meet. But first, we're going to take a look at some of the new cars muscling their way into the series.
Just traded some serious paint with that Mustang.
These are some of the new faces that I mentioned earlier. Of course, their faces aren't always as angry looking.
The 2011 NASCAR Nationwide Series. Something new around every turn.
Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying at Martinsville is brought to you by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. And by Little Debbie Snacks. When you share the fresh taste and goodness of a Little Debbie snack, you share a smile. A blustery day at Martinsville, Virginia. As we get ready to qualify, we're going to enjoy the first delivery of Martinsville hot dogs of the day as we go to Steve Burns.
Well, thanks, Mike, with Carl Edwards. Carl's watching replays on the Sprint Vision, getting a little pointer, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn something. I'm not so good here, if you haven't noticed, so I'm watching Jimmy and Jeff race. That's a pretty amazing race there, but I had fun with you last night. That was a good time.
I was going to say, you did a little warming up. I didn't call you Kirby, not one time, and we'll actually show you the footage. But I want to know, why did you go to a video game with your fire suit on? The NASCAR 2011 game.
Because it's still a video game of Martinsville, all right? And safety is key for me at Martinsville. We had a good time. You did call me Kirby a couple times, so. And then you used your secret weapon on me. I don't know if we'll show that here, but
why'd you spin me out? Because I was driving the 18 car?
See, you guys have the ability to edit this however you wanted. You and your son spun me out about 400 times, and I was just getting a little payback. Well, that was pretty fun, man. I had a good time.
Talk about what's the most important thing for you and your team for qualifying here today.
Well, the biggest thing is for me to get a good third lap. You get one real lap to go fast. The first lap doesn't count. The second lap, tires are coming in. The third lap is what it's about. So if I can get one really good lap, it needs to be about 3/10 better than I've run all weekend. Run it maybe like a 60 or something like David Reagan ran. That would be spectacular. We need to start well. We need to start up front. We need to have a good pit stall to maintain this points lead.
All right, thank you, Carl. Mike, truthfully, I was black flagged about 3 times yesterday. 3 or 4.
But you had fun, and that's or 8 or 9. And that's the main thing. Here's the Little Debbie's track description. Martinsville is the smallest track on the Sprint Cup circuit. They've been racing here since 1947, since before NASCAR. They'll run 500 laps here tomorrow. The banking in the corners sure looks flat. They say it's 12 degrees. Flat on the straightaways. Equal length drag strips and 2 U-turns. Matt Yoakum?
Mike, when you look at Kurt Busch's resume here at Martinsville, it's been hit and miss. He's had some frustrating days, but also some great ones with a win and a pole. And Kurt, with all the talk about tires here the past day and a half, how do you approach qualifying?
Well, you always want to qualify well because you never know how rough and intense the race is going to be. And if you're up front, then you can hold your track position. But with tires wearing out so fast, the tire strategy game is going to be an interesting one come Sunday. We'll learn a lot today watching the truck race. But for us here with the Shell Pennzoil Dodge, just struggling to keep the rear tires underneath it the longer that we run. And I hear that all through the garage. Everybody's really burning up the rear tires.
Good luck on your lap. Mike?
Thanks, Matt. Cars will be rolling and we'll be qualifying when we come back to Martinsville, Virginia. You're watching Sprint Cup qualifying on Speed.
Goodyear, driven by those who use the world as their proving ground. And everything we've learned making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
Free fall training! It's how Advanced Auto Parts trains our staff to install your battery fast and free. Battery testing and installation fast and free. Advanced Auto Parts. Service is our best part. Wipers, go!
At the end of the day,
Folks, why won't we go to the doctor? My uncle called, speech all slurred, complaining his arms numb. He called everyone. He even called my daughter Tiara, because, you know, she's got a year of nursing. Everyone thinks he needs to go to the doctor, including me. So he said, well, will you take me? I'm like, I'm on the road. He goes, I'll wait. Stroke's no joke. If you or someone you love have symptoms of stroke, don't wait. It may be too late. Dial 911. Time loss is brain loss.
To do? Look at bill from phone company.
Reminder, find out how much we pay for phone and internet.
Note to self, cut off slow DSL.
Highest priority, look at bill, see what we can save.
First thing, pay less, get more.
We switched.
We switched. We switched.
To Comcast Business Class.
Fast internet?
Better phone.
Cloud services from Microsoft? Great deal.
You can't save if you don't look. Call Comcast Business Class at 1-800-391-3000 today.
The hardest working men in show business, that's the fellows that man those big heavy fixed cameras, fixed mount. They've got to tilt and pan those things for 500 laps tomorrow. And today they've got to endure the wind. And you can see right there, you can see that yellow tether. And right now that's about what's keeping them on the roof because the wind gusts approach 40 miles an hour today. So thanks, fellas, for all you do every week for us and for the folks at home that get to watch NASCAR on Fox and Speed. Ken Schrader in the VAMortgage.com Ford will be our first qualifier. Frank Stoddard's driver has been coming here since 1985 for Ginny Donlevy.
You heard Carl Edwards talk about the throwaway lap because the cars enter the racetrack over in turn 2 where the exit of pit road is. The first lap is nothing. It's a get up to speed lap. Now he's under the clock for 2 laps, and everyone here will run 2 laps. Probably the money lap will be the third and final lap.
It's all in the air pressure. Man, I tell you, it's such a fine, it's a tricky deal. How much air do you put in the right sides over what's recommended? Do you put air in the left? Do you take air out of the lefts? What do you do?
First lap for Schrader, 92 miles an hour, 20.548.
We talked to Matt Kenseth this morning. He said normally on a practice qualifying run, it was all the way to the last set of corners, turn 3 and 4 on the last lap before the car really started hooking up and not sliding around.
Second lap quicker, 2022. Steve?
With Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mike, and Dale, you guys, we've talked about a lot off to a great start, and this is a good racetrack for you. 8 top 5 finishes.
Yeah, I like it. It's fun. It's always like racing at short tracks, but we've been working on the car, and I don't know. You know, it's kind of hard to tell, hard to figure when you're, you know, just making gains or not because the tire will fall off so quick. But we'll just see how this truck race goes. Really, we're going to try to qualify best we can and watch the truck race, see how the track rubbers up if it does. And hopefully they get some rubber in, and then we'll know it'll be all right. Thank you, Dale.
Well, you can hear the questioning nature that's throughout the garage about what's going to happen here as David Gilliland, who turned 35 years old yesterday, looks for his first top 10 start at Martinsville.
You've got cold tires, over 800 horsepower, and the lowest gear we run anywhere is 650, trying to hook those rear tires up. It's almost, in this configuration, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, you know, I think if I were qualifying, I would just, when I leave turn 2 over there, I wouldn't mess around. I'd get in it, I'd get some heat in those tires, use that first lap to warm up the tires, get some heat built up in them so I can go hard.
2017 on the first lap for the Taco Bell Ford. On Front Row Racing, this lap looks to be quicker, and is 20:06 for Gilliland. Darrell on his get up to speed lap. Have a look here coming off turn 4.
Yeah, just no grip. You can see a car just really, really loose, and that's what I've seen yesterday in practice all day long. Even after several laps, guys were fighting, trying to get the rear end of the car hooked up, just riding on that right rear hard.
Trevor Bayne of the Motorcraft Ford looking to make his first Martinsville start for the Wood brothers. Started a career best 16th at Las Vegas earlier this year and finished in the top 20 to go with his Daytona 500 win.
You could see right there in the middle of 1 and 2, his front tires were not hooking up. The car just slid up the racetrack.
Just can't quite, you could hear that also, Larry, just couldn't quite get it wide open quick enough. Had to ease into the throttle off the corner.
Our first 2 qualifiers, Kenny Schrader and David Gilliland, they did pick up from what they ran in practice yesterday, both on their second lap.
I would assume with the temperatures, you know, kind of chilly, and this tire that we have here, the second lap would be the quicker of the 3.
First lap, 2011. Second fastest so far.
Just look at the difference right here in miles per hour and RPM from the center of the corner to the end of the straightaways. Down below 5,000 in the middle of the corner and over 9,000 at the end of the straightaway.
Trevor is the first driver to break 20 seconds with a lap of 19.879. He is fastest.
In 49 days.
Have you ever?
No, I have never.
Don't miss the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race live on Speed.
You ready? Ready? Green flag, green.
If the high price of fuel is keeping you up at night, then reach for Lucas Fuel Treatment. A safe, over-the-counter remedy, lubricating the entire fuel system. Just pour directly in your tank, and it instantly goes to work, cleaning and lubricating the entire fuel system. Sleep better and longer with Lucas Fuel Treatment.
Are you ready to take your family on a little spring break of its own? Then you belong at Bass Pro Shops for the Spring Into Savings Sale. Now, for a limited time, you can save an additional $1,000 on a new 2011 Nitro Z7 Performance Bass Boat.
No garage is complete until you fire up a Hot Rod Grill. This realistic engine barbecue has a stainless grill, aluminum block, heads, and intake. Watch as your exhaust smoke comes right out of the zoomies. Order by phone or log on to hotrodgrills.com today.
Landon Castle looking to make his 5th start of 2011. Times in at 2013. 94 miles an hour. He's 3rd fastest. Matt Kenseth in the Crown Royal Ford Fusion. First race here in the Cup Series was 2000. And he has 1 top 10 start at Martinsville. That was 14th is his best timed effort. He did start 10th and start on the front row one year here during due to points. That was last spring.
See, he didn't mess around on that warm-up lap. He was out there, came out of turn 4 on it on the warm-up lap. See, it could affect his second lap because I believe he's going to get a really. Let's see if he picks up or not, Larry, because that was a pretty hard first lap he laid down.
Yeah, 20:06. That's real close to what he ran in practice yesterday at that 20:02. I would say he should definitely pick up maybe to the 80s, maybe low 90s.
Looks pretty good on this lap.
I believe it's going to be in the 80s.
Yeah. So he went hard, went real hard on that first lap. Tied. Look at that.
Identical lap to the man that Matt's with.
The fun factor, Mike, extremely high last night at the Wood Brothers Open House. How big was that turnout?
That was unbelievable, man. It was the first time the Wood Brothers have actually had an event like that at their shop, so it was cool to be a part of that. It was like a Wood Brother family reunion. I mean, every person I met there was a Wood, it seemed like, and they had all their family there, so that was really neat. We had about 4,000 fans. I was there from 6 o'clock until midnight last night signing autographs. We kind of expected it to be a couple hours, and we ended up staying until midnight. So Leonard and Glenn were still, I thought I was going to fly paper airplanes into them to wake them up over there, but they were still signing, so it was cool.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
A lot of fun over there in Stewart last evening. Robbie Gordon. Fast 5 is a new movie, and Dodge very heavily involved in the movie and in its promotion, so they're sponsoring Robbie this week, whose best qualifying effort here, 11th.
Yeah, I think with that movie coming out April 29th, this is going to be on his car all month long.
Saw that thing coming off turn 4 there, picking up that left front wheel. We haven't seen that happen here since the car was introduced. First time we came here, remember how they'd carry that left front wheel up off the corner? Kind of an old modified.
First lap of 2022. This needs to be the money lap.
He was in the 1990s yesterday in practice. He ran a 98.
Much better lap, I think.
You might get back to the 90s. No,
almost. 20:02 for Robbie Gordon. Steve?
Well, Mike, we have video evidence of Denny Hamlin dominating DW last night on trackside. And you made 2 to his 1, but I think that counts as domination.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's all you need. Just you only show your hand enough to win. That's about it.
Hey, you've won here from 19th. You've won here from 1st. What is important about today's qualifying effort, Denny?
Well, the track conditions are going to be a little bit different. It's steadily getting warmer as the weekend goes. So right now, just trying to get a feel for where the racetrack's going to go for tomorrow. Qualifying wasn't our strong suit, obviously, and we qualified on the pole and we've qualified in the back here before. So it's tough to say. Mike Ford said this morning that he changed the setup all around and is knocked out of the ballpark. We just don't know whether we're playing at the right field or not.
All right, thanks, Denny.
Kurt Busch in the Shell Pennzoil Dodge has a pole and a win here.
By the way, I hit 1, he hit 2. I mean, how is that domination? Is that domination?
I'd say you're 0-1 at this point.
What does that mean?
It means the box score is all that counts.
What did Ricky Bobby say? If you're not first, you're last?
Well, in this case, I was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What was your rant last week? It's all about winning?
That's it. Well, I wasn't trying to come in second, I can tell you that.
Right. Kurt Busch is fastest with a 1983. He goes to the top of the board, Matt.
Just bump Matt Kenseth down to second. And DW was talking, Matt, so much the importance of getting heat in the tires. So how does a driver, what are some of the different ideas to try to get some heat in the tires on this unique qualifying format here?
You'll have to talk to somebody that's a lot faster than me. So this is not a very great track for me, especially qualifying. So I don't think that's very good. It's a good pickup from yesterday, but we should have been able to pick up from that. So not a great lap for me. Hard to get heat in the tires, hard to get the car to do what you want. You just try to go as fast as you can and go from there.
Thanks, Matty.
Thanks.
Montoya and Johnson talking it over. As Tony Stewart is on track, the Office Depot Mobile One Chevrolet. Stewart has 3 Martinsville poles and 2 victories here, but did not have a really strong practice yesterday.
Yeah, he came out of the box back there and he went really, really slow, just kind of spinning the tires up through the gears. See how it works out for him.
Darrell, don't you think, obviously, like Matt said, you want to get as much heat in the tires as you can, but you don't want to get a lot in one end and not the other. Then the car's going to be imbalanced as well.
I think you just got to, my opinion is, you just go out there and run as hard as you can. You know, come out of the pits, go down there, get all the heat you can, run as hard as you can, hope for the best.
Pretty good first lap. In fact, that's the best first lap we've had, 1991 for Tony.
Looks like he may qualify a lot better than he practiced.
Yeah, he's not going to pick up a whole lot, though, on lap 2.
No, 1995, he's slower.
Down. First car to do that.
Well, again, his strategy was kind of, you know, came out, didn't get a lot of heat in the tires on that warm-up lap.
Now, later today, the world's toughest trucks will battle on the tight turns of Martinsville. They're all covered up now. Johnny Sauter and Cole Witt will share the front row for the Camping World Truck Series race here. 1:30 Eastern, live on Speed, presented by Pep Boys. Greg Biffle next, making his 300th Sprint Cup start this weekend. Greg has 2 top 10 finishes here, but only 2 top 10 starts due to time trials.
Tell you one thing, he packed her in there pretty good on his warm-up lap once he got going.
Yeah, 300 starts, 16 wins in Sprint Cup, but he's never won a short track race in the top series.
This whole piece looks pretty good.
I don't believe it's going to be a great first lap, though, Darrell. Just looking at the tracker.
Smooth.
Oh, you're right, Larry. 2034.
They always look good at 2034.
Yeah. It's when you try to run that 1980, it gets business picks up a little bit. Greg ran a 1996 in practice yesterday. He's going to struggle to get back to that.
20 flat for Greg Biffle. That puts him 5th in the 3M Ford. Steve?
And Mike, Jeff Burton's car being pushed up here on the grid. And Jeff, this has been a place where you've had a lot of success. How good did you get the car yesterday?
I think it was good. I mean, everybody's fighting the same thing. Everybody's fighting really loose. But, you know, if you go back in track history, typically Fridays are loose here. You're not as loose on Sundays. So we're not 100% sure we know what we got. But main thing right now is getting this thing qualified. I think this is the hardest place we go to qualify. It's really hard to get heat in the tires to get moving. So we want to get a good starting spot.
Thank you, Jeff.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Amp Energy Mountain Dew, number 88, has had 2 front row starts here. 8 top 5 finishes. 3 times he's led the most laps. Nothing in the win column yet at Martinsville.
Definitely one of the tracks, though, when he was a rookie that he struggled at the first couple 3 years, and then he started to get his arms around this place a little bit.
You're right, Larry. Took 5 starts here to get his first top 10 finish. First lap 20:09.
Definitely better off at 2 that time.
Got a good run off 2. And it carried down that back straightaway, even though it's a short straightaway.
Up in the middle of the corner a little bit, kind of diamonding it off a tad, see if that works out for him.
Into the corner, he was the fastest so far. He'll wind up 4th with a 1989. Locked it up a bit into turn 3. Kurt Busch is quickest.
On an all-new Car Warriors, Steve Buccaro takes on the biggest challenge of his life.
Just because I'm in a wheelchair doesn't mean I'm dead.
No guts, no glory. Wednesday on an all-new Car Warriors, followed by Car Science, only on Speed.
We gave it a new fully boxed high-strength steel frame and hydraulic body mounts for a comfortable ride. Because the things you carry are even heavier than the things you haul. Introducing the new Chevy Silverado HD, Motor Trend's 2011 Truck of the Year.
Okay, hold your line. Hold your line. Middle is good. Shoot the middle. Clear the bottom.
NASCAR The Game 2011.
Okay, buddy, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Rated E for everyone.
Welcome back to Geico Radio. It's savings on the radio.
Hello, George and Linda.
Hello, Mr. Gecko.
So we're such huge fans
Of yours. And would be really honored
if you would marry us.
Me?
Yeah, you just seem so smart and so...
British sounding.
I'm not really qualified to speak on matters of the heart. Look, I'll tell you this. When you insure more than one car with Geico, you could save even more with our multi-car discount.
I now pronounce you thrifty.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Casey Mears in the Geico Toyota had a 6th place start here in 2009. Right now, he is 6th with a 1993 on his second lap.
Now, Carl is using a really, he came out of the box back there. He just wiggled his tires all the way down the back straightaway without a lot of speed. Kind of coasted through turns 3 and 4. See how this works out.
The Aflac Ford has 2 top 10 starts here by time trials, but Carl has never led a lap at Martinsville in a Sprint Cup car.
Yeah, one of 2 tracks. He's never led a lap here or Watkins Glen.
All the Roush Fenway Fords qualifying very early in the lineup as we go from slowest to fastest in practice. The exception, David Reagan, who will be the 35th and final car in the top 35 to qualify. He was quickest in yesterday's practice. Edwards' first lap at 20:02.
Pretty good lap here going on lap 2.
See how his strategy worked out there, because that first lap he didn't have much heat at all in the tires, so they ought to pick up.
Right opposite from Dale Earnhardt Jr. He made sure he didn't overdrive turn 3, and I think he paid dividends because of that.
Yeah. Second place, just 4 100ths off Kurt Busch, so second for Edwards.
This is what you were talking about, DW.
Same strategy. Yes, I think Carl may have shown these guys something, because that's exactly what he did. This way you get a little extra heat in the left side tires, knock the new off of them by virtue of kind of wiggling around back there before you get up to speed. So that could be a real benefit. And then he's getting heat in his brakes. So this is definitely a throwaway coming to get warmed up here.
I'd say that's the biggest thing. He's probably really riding that brake pedal, and that puts heat in all 4 tires.
And you can still see the stickers on his left side tires. This will be interesting.
So Denny Hamlin in the FedEx Toyota working on his jump shot here.
Remember, he just crossed the start-finish line, but this is a throwaway lap. He's not even on the clock right now.
Hamlin has 2 poles here, but this is a little unorthodox. Now he's on it.
And you know, really and truly, it's like this is like a normal qualifying lap now. I mean, that first lap he just rode around, so this is like you normally would qualify right here for him.
Smooth and quick back to the gas.
Sounded good.
You know, Carl Edwards said it in his interview with Steve Burns. Of course, you want to qualify well anywhere, but the big reason here, even with a 500-lap race, pit selection is so critical here on this tight pit road.
First lap of 20:07. That's right on top of Matt Kenseth's first lap.
It's going to be much better.
That car rode through the middle, looked nice and free, and then looks like it hooked up good on the exit of the corner.
Little wobble there, but I think he's still going to be a great lap.
Got a good launch off the corner, and he goes to P1 with a 1972, 96 miles an hour for Denny Hamlin.
Guess what everybody else is going to do now on their warm-up lap?
Monkey see, monkey do.
The biggest pre-race show on television, Motors to Martinsville. Ryan Newman and Jimmy Johnson join us live. And Denny Hamlin talks about getting his season back on track. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, Sunday at 10:30 Eastern, live on Speed.
I rely on my pit crew for a lot of things, both on and off the track. But when it comes to my cars, I take care of them myself, because I know I'm going to do it right. Armor All. Care for your car. And to protect against brake dust and grime, try new Armor All Wheel Protectant.
Is your computer running slowly?
ESPN
your NBA destination.
He is so fun to watch.
Mama, there goes that man. The NBA on ESPN. Wednesday and Friday nights all season long on ESPN and ESPN HD.
ESPN, serving sports fans around the world.
If you don't believe that every man and every fan count, then you've never been there. Because once you're inside, we're part of you. And together, we're giant.
We are the face of Comcast.
I'm a perfectionist. At least I try to be.
At Comcast, we solve problems.
If we don't resolve the problem the first time,
we'll extend a courtesy service to our customers.
You're a customer, you deserve it.
If you're a new customer and you're not satisfied with our services,
you can get your money back in the first 30 days.
It's a phenomenal thing to offer to our customers.
We're only as good as our word. And our word is good.
Whether it's giving you a $20 credit if we're late or 30 days to try us out, at Comcast, we're all about the customer. And that's always guaranteed.
This time trial here is 12th, but the BB&T Chevy is second on the board with a second lap of 1979.
But we've now figured out the qualifying procedure. Come out of the pits over there. You don't go very fast on your first lap. Work those tires back and forth like Denny Hamlin did. Boyer did it. Worked. Now Montoya's doing it. Seems like we figured this thing out, Larry.
Looks like they have.
Carl Edwards having a little conversation with Denny Hamlin after Denny's qualifying runs, who right now is on the pole.
Juan Pablo Montoya, fifth here last fall on the grid. He has a third place finish here. He's run 8 races here, all of them for Earnhardt Ganassi Racing.
Always like what he said about this joint. You go in like a gentleman and you come off like a lion.
Which is what you do road racing.
That's it.
It's not going to be a great first lap for Juan.
Yep, 20.06 for the Target Chevy.
He can work on that. A little soft off the 2, but
got into the corner really well.
Picked up a little speed down the back, heard him hit the rev limiter a tad, getting into 3. Little warning device for the driver.
He just wasn't getting through the middle in the early exit that good. Picks it up to 8th quickest.
1990 for Montoya. So the game has changed, Matt.
Hamlin's still P1, Mike, and DW is really impressed with your warm-up lap. Jumping on the brakes, was that old school for you from the old short track days?
Yeah, I used to do it a lot at Southern National Speedway, but just trying to get these tires broken a little bit. It's just I'm very, very surprised about the actual lap time, but you know, someone should run a lot faster than that, I would think, because we didn't get off the 4. We did a lot of things about that lap I wish I could do over again, but our car was just extremely loose, so it's hard to get a hold of it. So I'm still proud of our effort here. Mike and those guys, we wholesale changed from what we had in qualifying yesterday. So, you know, we're not going to be on the pole, but hopefully that'll put us, if I had to predict right now, I'd say that's going to put us probably about 9th or so.
Hamlin won here in October from the pole. Here's Jimmy Johnson, who has 1 pole from time trials. He started on the pole twice here.
Locked it up a little bit on his coming to get the green lap, getting into 3 over there, a lot like what Junior did. Messed up his coming to get the green lap a tad, but we'll see if he can pick it up on this second one.
20 flat on lap 1 for the Lowe's Chevy.
Looking fast, I know that. Get down that back straightaway in a hurry.
You know, he only has 1 top 10 start this year. Started 6th at Bristol a couple of weeks ago.
Got up in the middle. He just went into 3 a little too hard, Larry. Got up in the center of the turn just a little bit. Hurt his exit speed.
He's in the right part of the 80s, though, the low 80s.
1982, 3rd fastest for Johnson, who has 6 wins here.
That'll get heat in it.
In that spot, and in that spot, and in that spot.
Steve.
Thanks, Mike, with Brian Vickers. And Brian, this place looks innocent enough, but it provides a lot of challenges for a driver.
It provides plenty of challenges for the smallest track on the circuit. You know, it's funny enough, I've always loved this place. My first race in a stock car was here in the Allison Legacy Series. I raced late models here, and now in the Sprint Cup Series. And I tell you, this weekend's provided challenges, I think, for a lot of guys. We unloaded with a setup that we finished 6th here with last year, and we just lost, completely lost. We made a lot of changes throughout practice. The guys did a great job getting all the changes done. We found some stuff there at the end we were really happy with.
Thank you, Brian.
Paul Menard in the Menard Chevrolet from RCR, looking for his first top 10 time trial here.
Found out why they call him the sheriff, Brian Vickers. He has quite the collection of guns. And he and Jimmy Johnson showed up at some shoot they were doing, and he actually came loaded for bear. Had some big pistol, and Johnson said, "Man, look like the sheriff," and so they call him the sheriff.
He has it above his door now.
Has it on the door.
First lap for Menard, 12th quickest.
Pretty sporty looking second lap here for Paul.
Well, that's only the second driver to run a first lap below 20 seconds.
Yeah, Tony Stewart was the other
excuse
one.
me. Kurt Busch also.
Nice pickup.
Third for Paul Menard, 1981. So we have Hamlin with a 72 on pole, Boyer 79, Menard 81, Johnson 82, Busch 83. Jeff Burton, Reed Smith, Mark Martin coming up.
It's time to take matters into your own hands. AutoZone's got the advice and expertise you need to take on any job, because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
It's tough to run with congestion, so I'm taking charge with Claritin D. It relieves even my worst allergy symptoms. Nothing works stronger, faster, or longer for nasal congestion and sinus pressure without drowsiness. I only live Claritin Clear with Claritin D.
An everyday moment can turn romantic anytime. And when it does, men with erectile dysfunction can be more confident in their ability to be ready with Cialis for daily use. Cialis for daily use is a clinically proven low-dose tablet you take every day, so you can be ready anytime the moment's right.
Tell your doctor about your medical condition and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity.
Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure.
Do not drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Ask your doctor if Cialis for daily use is right for you. For a 30-tablet free trial offer, go to Cialis.com.
Boyer seems to have fallen off the pace.
Come on, Clint. We can do better than this. Clint, you got me in there?
Who is this?
It's Tommy.
Who? How'd you get this channel?
Not important. What is important is your performance so far, or lack thereof. It's killing my fantasy team.
What?
If you could just pass a few cars, or heaven forbid, get a fastest lap, it would really help me.
Huh?
Sign up now for the new NASCAR Fantasy Live on NASCAR.com. The first game ever with live in-race scoring.
Seriously, Clint, let's pick it up, okay?
Jeff Burton in the Cat Chevrolet has a win here back when he was driving for Jack Roush, and he has 4 third-place starts here.
Yeah, Jeff's last top 10 finish was when he finished 9th here in the fall, actually after leading quite a number of laps, and was in position to win this race a year ago.
Matt?
And catching up with Jimmy Johnson. So some guys have had pretty smooth qualifying efforts. Did you lock up your brakes? A couple of guys have locked up theirs.
Yeah, I did. You know, the brake lockup isn't comfortable, but I think I had a decent lap on my second lap. I was afraid of brake lockup in 3 and kind of got out of rhythm and then threw away 3 and 4 a little bit. So I got into one with a small lockup. I should have just done it into 3. It had the perfect rhythm for me, but a decent lap. We'll take it. Usually not the best qualifying here, so I'm kind of proud of that lap right now.
I think Kyle Busch's comment this weekend was, it's either going to be Hamlin or Johnson 1 and 2. Everybody else is racing for 3rd. He's going for 1.
We'll see. Jeff Burton's time was 20 flat, 13th fastest as Regan Smith in the Furniture Row Chevy comes out for his 6th appearance at Martinsville in a Cup car.
Well, Jimmy Johnson, pretty good qualifying lap, but remember, he didn't lead a lap here last year.
Yeah, that's right. Regan Smith has the best average start of any driver in 2011, 6th. On average.
Yeah, I talked to Pete Rondeau, his crew chief, about that yesterday morning. He said they were going to put a little more effort, considering the schedule with all the practicing yesterday, into more race runs, because they've definitely been, they know how to be fast. They just hadn't figured out how to be fast the length of a race.
Well, they found something, Larry, because he continues to pick up all the way through.
Yep.
This qualifying lap, his first lap 20:30, and that was pretty slow, but he is 2nd quickest with a 1976. Nice run.
He just rolled that 3rd and 4th turn beautifully right around the inside. Nice lap.
Great lap for Regan Smith. Steve?
Mike, with Kyle Busch, he's going to start 5th in the truck race here in a little while on speed. How different does the truck drive from the car here?
About, I don't know, I can't really say, but it's enough. You know, you'll notice some, but you know, I feel like our pedigree Camry's pretty good. It was really good yesterday, and the guys have made some good changes on it. So looking forward to qualifying here and seeing what we can get out of it. Denny laid down a really good lap there, so we'll see what we have, and hopefully we can run somewhere in the 70s. That'll be good for us.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yep.
The Quaker State Chevy for Mark Martin, who won 3 poles in a row here when driving for Jack Roush in the early 1990s, and he finished 2nd here last fall.
You know, we talked about it at the top of the show, and I want to go back to an interview we did with Jeff Burton a little bit ago. He talked about we're always loose on Friday, and then the track tightens up. You see here we have concrete corners, and when we got here, they're white on Friday, and then as cars and trucks run on them, it starts turning black. Rubber starts laying down. But what we've seen so far this weekend, those white concrete corners are not turning that black, and I think a lot of drivers are still very loose.
Yeah, it's just balling up and just staying on top of the racetrack, which is very unusual for here.
Mark Martin gets a big jump on lap 2 to 3rd with a 1978. Steve?
And Mike, with Ryan Newman, first in-depth question: why does Tony Gibson always call you old man?
He calls everybody old man. I've heard him call his wife old man. No kidding.
That's not a good idea.
That's the honest truth. I don't know. What's your next question?
My next question is, how good did you guys get your race car yesterday?
I feel like we're pretty good. We didn't have the money lap on my last run wasn't what we wanted it to be. Had a little traffic, so I think we've got a good car. The Haas Automation Chevrolet's been good all weekend, just trying to figure out what everybody else is about the tires and making it good for a long run.
All right, thanks, old man.
Thank you.
Ryan Newman. All right, Kevin Harvick, where did he come from? In the Budweiser Chevrolet. He started pole here for this race last year, but that was due to point standings. He does have about half a dozen top 10 starts here, and a 3rd place finish is his best.
And if there is a difference between driving a truck and a car, he just got out of his truck. So sometimes that transition, man, is really hard to do, and go out there and lay down a fast lap.
A lot of these first laps have been down in the 2020s. Harvick's is a 2011, and the pickup has been 3 to 4 tenths of a second on lap 2.
Yeah, he ran a 2011. Mark Martin, who's 3rd right now, ran a 2008 on his first lap. I think it's dictated by just how hard you're able to drive it on that first lap.
Pretty darn good lap here.
Yep, 2nd fastest. Harv is in at a 1976, 95.8 miles per hour, just a tick behind Denny Hamlin.
The world's toughest trucks march into Martinsville.
Ooh, some contact.
Metal will be crushed and tempers will boil over. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Martinsville. Today at 1:30 Eastern. Live on Speed.
Truth is, most motorcycle insurance costs about the same. What's not the same is the coverage. Now you can get the Allstate protection you need for a price you can afford. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects the rider better than Allstate.
Nature Valley sweet and salty nut bars. They're made from whole roasted nuts and dipped in creamy peanut butter, making your craving for a sweet and salty bar irresistible. By Nature Valley.
Introducing the ultimate.
So, do you have any questions?
What is your soup of the day?
We have a mulligatawny soup.
Oh, do you have any specials?
We have a steak special today.
Oh, how's that cooked?
That's pan-seared and then...
Does it come with a side dish? Is it grilled? Can I have it steamed? So, what do you recommend? What kind of pie do you have? You're an actor. Aren't you from Ohio?
Any questions?
Ask questions. For the 10 questions everyone should know, go to ahrq.gov.
Uvers, why isn't there more on demand on here?
How am I supposed to know? The world's a mystery.
I thought you were the latest in technology.
Well, I was back then. My phone wires were young and life was simple. Now I'm supposed to have as much on demand as Xfinity from Comcast, on TV and online. Enjoy your youth, kid, because one day you will turn around and it will be leaving in mid-conversation.
Uverse's old phone wires can't handle what Xfinity can. Visit Xfinity Can to learn more.
Started outside pole here in the fall 2007 race for DEI. And 3rd here for the same team at the end of 2009.
You know, Martin has led 84 laps in these first 5 races. He only led 88 laps the entire season last year.
And he's led a total of 1 lap here as he times in 8th fastest with a 1983. Speed's coverage of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Martinsville is brought to you in high definition by Funai. Funai, fun and innovative. Experience more at FunaiAmerica.com. Matt?
Mike, another impressive qualifying effort by Regan Smith. So what stood out to you most about your fast lap? What stood out most?
Well, the fact that it didn't really feel like it came in until turn 4, so the grip's really hard to come by right now. But Furniture Row Chevy was good. Fridays and Saturdays seem to be our happy days of the week. Sundays have not been our better days, and we worked really hard yesterday on race trim. I think we made one mock-up run at the very end and really didn't focus on it, so we're hoping to have better luck in the race this week.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
Jamie McMurray has 3 outside poles here at Martinsville, driving the Whittier Chevrolet. Big maker of cutting tools.
Jamie seemed fairly happy with his car in both of those practice sessions yesterday. Pretty good first lap, 1988. In fact, that is the fastest first lap we've had so far. Got into that rev limiter at the end of the straightaway, DW, going into 3.
That's music to your ears. That means you got in there good.
I believe he got in there real good.
Good launch off the corner. Wow, he takes the pole by 1/10 of a second, and that is a lot here. 1962.
Great lap. Yeah, you beat somebody by 1/10 here like Denny Hamlin, you know you got a great qualifying lap in.
Steve?
Mike, thanks with Jeff Gordon. The numbers for you amazing here. 7 wins, 7 poles, 23 top 5s, and just shy of 3,000 laps led.
It's been a great track for us, obviously, and we're excited about this weekend when they're driving in Hunger Chevrolet. We're pretty good yesterday, you know, and Jamie just put up an heck of a lap, so, you know, it's definitely going to force us to step it up. But I always, when I come to Martinsville, I love it. I've got a lot of confidence in our team and my driving, but it's still, what have you done for me lately? We haven't had that win recently, and we're working hard to try to get that this weekend.
Thank you, Jeff.
Second fastest in practice. If he wins the pole, he would tie DW for the most career poles here. A.J. Allmendinger, the Best Buy Ford, looking for his first top 10 start at Martinsville.
You know, you could hear it in Jeff Gordon's voice. I talked to his stepdad, John Bigford, a couple of days ago and said Jeff had been feeling quite under the weather this week.
1984 for Allmendinger. And that is 4/100ths quicker than McMurray's first lap.
Boy, if that thing sticks getting into 3, I tell you, he drove it. That's the hardest anybody's driven into turn 3 and made it stick.
He was consistently the quickest Ford yesterday.
Yep, but you could hear it spin the tires off turn 4, and he ends up 1/10 off pole, 3rd fastest at a 1973.
For 125 years, Sunoco's been fueling victories on and off the track. Why? Because winning is the greatest feeling in the world.
Goodyear, driven by those who use the world as their proving ground. And everything we've learned making these tires inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven.
Speed training. It's how Advanced Auto Parts trains our staff to get you the right part even faster.
Not bad.
The parts you need even faster. Advanced Auto Parts. Service is our best part. Next!
Okay, hold your line. Hold your line.
Middle is good. Shoot the middle.
NASCAR The Game 2011.
Okay, buddy, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Rated E for everyone.
Brian Vickers in the Red Bull Toyota. This is his 12th trip to Martinsville. He does not yet have a top 10 start here, but he was 11th fastest in practice.
1997, pretty respectable first lap for Brian.
Well, you can hear him, Larry. He is driving off into that third turn. If he can get back in the throttle here, get up off the corner without getting loose.
It'll be a good lap for him.
Pretty good lap.
7th for Vickers at a 1978 with an 8. Mark Martin, a 78 with a 4, just ahead of him. Matt?
Mike, fast Chevys with McMurray and Harvick discussing their qualifying efforts. So were you better at one end of the racetrack versus the other, Captain?
Yeah, I just didn't carry enough speed getting into the middle 1 and 2 and didn't want to hit the curb because I knew that'd really screw my lap up. But I got through 3 and 4 okay. Could have used a touch more forward bite, but anything that's better than 25th in qualifying day for our Budweiser Chevrolet is usually the sign of a great race day.
All right, good luck on Sunday. And you seemed almost surprised when you got out of your race car. Great lap.
Yeah, it was a really good lap. I didn't think I drove quite hard enough, but in practice it was so easy to slide the tires, and I just felt like I was better off to just take what I could get and not try to get too much. So that's a good run for a video car. It's a first race with this sponsor, and it's a really bright car, so it'd be cool to have it up front. Excited about our weekend.
It definitely does stand out.
McMurray looking for his first short track pole. Marcus Ambrose on track, his 5th trip to Martinsville. Last fall, he started outside pole here.
You know, Jamie said something, though, it's the key to this joint. I didn't feel like I drove it hard enough. You got it. I say it all the time, and it's preached to me all the time. Slow down, go faster.
First lap for Ambrose, 1994. Now we're into the top 10 practice time drivers from 10th to 1st.
You could hear him buzz the tires. He was well up on the straightaway, and the rear tires lit up on that thing.
Good exit off of 4.
Ooh. 12th fastest, 1983. Ambrose is 12th in the DeWalt Stanley Ford. Here's a look off turn 4.
Now watch that left front tire.
Turn 2, excuse me.
Off turn 2. That usually is a sign of 2 things. Great big sway bar and a shock with a lot of rebound in it. The rebound won't let that wheel come out, and you'll use a lot of rebound in that left front shock to keep the nose down coming off the corner. Might be a little too aggressive on that one.
Tomorrow, the world's biggest pre-race show motors into Martinsville. Ryan and Jimmy and Denny on the show live. That's NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot from Martinsville. Tomorrow, 10:30 Eastern, live on Speed. Let's go back downstairs.
Mike with David Reagan. Now, David, the fast lap today is a 1962. You were fastest in practice at a 1967. Can you beat that?
Absolutely. If I hit my marks, Drew and everyone on our UPS team has done a nice job preparing this car. I wish we had some more happy hour after this qualifying session. It's kind of weird just coming here and running 2 laps this Saturday, but our UPS Ford's fast. I think it's comfortable. It's easy to drive. I'm just going to try not to overdrive it here this first lap and a half, and it's got the speed in it, so hopefully I can hit my marks and get a good lap.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, Steve. Bobby Labonte has a pole and a win here for Joe Gibbs. He's also driven here for Junior Johnson, Richard Petty, Troy Aikman, Kevin Buckler, and James Finch.
That was the first pole that Joe Gibbs Racing ever got back in 1995. First of what they now have at 51 poles.
He's flirting around with a pretty good lap here, Larry.
Great lap. He was pretty good in practice yesterday consistently.
Yes, sir. Jumped right up there. 4th quick.
So the Tom's Lance Snacks Toyota clocks in at 1974. 4th fastest.
On an all-new Car Warriors, Steve Bucaro takes on the biggest challenge of his life.
Just because I'm in a wheelchair doesn't mean I'm dead.
No guts, no glory. Wednesday on an all-new Car Warriors, followed by Car Science, only on Speed.
It's time to take matters into your own hands. AutoZone's got the advice and expertise you need to take on any job, because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
At TireRack.com, we stock an incredible number of tires, nearly 1 million tires. But we don't just stock them, we test them. And we post user reviews so you can find which tires are the best for you and your car. One more way Tire Rack is revolutionizing the way you buy tires. Right now, get up to an $80 mail-in rebate when you buy a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. For details, go to TireRack.com/TV. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
So at our company, we pay about the same, even though I'm a great driver and he's not so much.
Well, for a driver like you, I would recommend our new Snapshot discount. This little baby keeps track of your great driving habits so you can save money.
Amazing.
It's like an extra bonus savings.
He's my ride home.
How much can the Snapshot discount save you? Call or click today.
What are you doing, Bob? I finally figured out how to get my lawnmower to sense precisely the speed I want to walk. It's going to be effortless.
Why don't you just get one of these? Toro Personal Pace Technology. Mowing has never been easier.
How following your passion always puts you right where you're supposed to be. NASCAR home tracks, where what happens on the track is just part of the story.
Joey Logano in the Home Depot Camry finished second to teammate Denny Hamlin here last spring and sixth here last fall. One top 10 start in 4 attempts at Martinsville.
Now, he was second quickest in the first practice, but not with this race car. Early in the second and final practice, car got loose up the racetrack going into turn 3. They had to unload a backup car. They did get a few laps with this 20 car.
However, that quick practice time that he had would count toward where he lines up in qualifying, even though he has since gone to a backup car. Joey Logano, 20 seconds on his first lap. He's going right to the front row on lap 2, it looks like, where he will join Jamie McMurray, second fastest, 1968.
Good little old backup car.
Yes, sir.
I think they said that's a car he raced at Phoenix, if I remember right, yesterday when they were talking about this car.
I believe you're right. Yeah, that was a brand new race car that got tore up in that practice yesterday.
7th fastest in practice was Kyle Busch. Kyle has 2 top 10 starts here due to time trials, 4 fourth place finishes. Did not lead a lap in either of the races here last year.
Now, he's just putting a lot of heat in his brakes. When you hear him run up and stop and run up and stop, trying to get a little heat in those brakes so you don't have a lockup getting in one of these corners, because he's going to drive it down in there pretty hard, I think.
Right now, his teammates are second and third. Logano's second, Denny Hamlin third.
Now 3 Toyotas in the top 5, along with McMurray's Chevy and Allmendinger's Ford. So here's the pedigree Camry, lap 1.
Just a little bit up the hill in one there. Not too bad. Hit the red limiter. Roll was good there in the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's flirting with a sub 22nd lap.
Pretty good 4.
1990.
A little soft off of 2.
That's a 10th faster than his teammate Joey Logano's first lap.
Nice roll into 3. Let's see if he can get back in here and get up off this corner.
He made sure he didn't overdrive turn 3 and 4, but it's not going to be enough.
No, 8th quickest for Kyle Busch, 19.769. Matt?
An impressive recovery by you and this team, having to go to the backup car.
I got to try to save myself somehow by wrecking the other car in practice. But no, it just goes to show how awesome the guys are working back at the shop to be able to bring a backup car that's that good, that can qualify up towards the front like that. Limited practice. So that's good for our Home Depot team. We're excited about that. And hopefully get a good pit stall with that. And good spot. That's a big deal here, is always staying out of the trouble. So we'll see what happens in the race. I think everyone's kind of a little bit of a guessing game right now, and we'll just kind of see what happens in the race.
Currently second, matching his best finish here.
Ryan Newman, the Rocket, in the Haas Automation Chevrolet, has 2 poles here for Roger Penske and picked up another one for Stuart Haas in this 39.
Pretty nice 1 and 2 right there. If he can get through 3 and 4. Picking that gas up early, that's really paying off.
Wow.
This is lap 1 too, guys. And look at this. How about second quickest at a 1965, and that's lap 1.
Business has picked up.
He's serious, real serious.
But there we go.
Boy, he drove it down into turn 3.
This is where it paid off for him last time. He really got off of 4 really hot last time.
Don't know if it's going to do it.
Didn't quite get there.
Not enough. He is 100th slower. So Jamie McMurray holds on to the pole by 3/100ths.
This is amazing. We have had 30 cars qualify. The only 2 cars that did not pick up on their second lap, Ryan Newman and his teammate owner, Tony Stewart.
Well, now we're into the Fast 5 from practice. Casey Kane in the Red Bull Toyota has never started better than 5th here. He's done that twice. He has a second place finish here and was 5th in yesterday's practice.
Comes in here sitting pretty sporty in the points, tied for 9th with 3 top 10 finishes so far in 2011. I'm amazed at that first lap that Ryan Newman laid down a second ago.
You mean the old man?
The old man.
Yeah. You know where that came from? I remember Gibson was talking. That's what he called Mark Martin when he worked with him. Always referring to his old man. Probably just a carryover. I don't know about at home now. I'm not sure about that.
No. I don't have a good feeling about that.
I don't like that.
It's going to be a very good first lap for Casey Kane.
No, that's definitely a get up to speed lap, Larry. 20:06.
Boy, he's back in it quick, but it's pushing up off of 2.
Kane has 1 short track win. It was his first Cup win at Richmond.
Back in it good there.
It's going to be a good lap, though.
He's coming back. Whoa.
He stayed in it, though. It didn't really cost him.
Nice lap. 3rd, 1966 with a 5 to Newman's 65 with a 5.
And he was 3rd right here. And you can see it, Darrell. Boy, he loses the back end big time.
Yeah, when that left front wheel starts hopping up and down like that, it's loading that right rear, setting over on that right rear, and sometime it'll snap around with you like that.
All right, here's Matt with the Rocket.
The Rocket showed the second. You didn't pick up on the second lap. Any issue on the track as far as where you felt like you lost the time?
I just couldn't get off the corner as good as I wanted to. I could feel the car turning a little bit better than I expected it to, and I could commit to it and then lose what I had going, or I could just take what it had and see what that got me. And it got me, I think, a 66 on the second lap. So good job, everybody, Stuart Haas and great Haas Automation Chevrolet.
Thanks, Ryan.
Well, that was the fastest first lap by 0.2 of a second. Here's David Rudiman in the Aaron's Outdoors Toyota. 5th in the fall of 09 on the grid. His best effort here in 8 starts.
You know, back to Ryan Newman, I think because he's kind of a quiet type of a guy, we don't give enough credit where he's sitting right now. 2nd in the points coming in here to Martinsville.
That's right. Rudiman was 4th fastest in practice yesterday. 20 flat on his first lap. He's going to move up into the top 10 here. Maybe.
Looks like a decent lap here for him.
He let it roll through the middle. Took a set before he picked that throttle. It paid dividends. 8th quickest for David Rudiman.
Yep, 1975, 95.8 miles an hour. And then there were 3. Then we'll move to go or go home qualifying. But here come the 3 fastest drivers from yesterday's 2 rounds of practice, beginning with Brad Keselowski in the Miller Lite Dodge. He has only 2 Cup starts here. Doesn't have a top 20 start. 4 truck races here. Best start outside the top 25. So that practice lap that he laid down was probably the best one he's ever run here.
He's using about every technique available to get heat in these tires here. The brakes, going back and forth, stopping, picking up, accelerating.
If I didn't know better, I think there was a guy named RW driving that thing.
He is.
You reckon he's flicking that wrist?
I guarantee he is. Right now, getting ready to come to the green.
Now, Keselowski has just 1 top 10 start this year, 9th at Phoenix. So based on his practice speed, he could better that by a bunch. Really sailed it off into turn 1.
Yeah, he was in the throttle early, but he couldn't get it wide open off of 2. But this is only his first lap. Getting off a corner pretty darn good, but it's a little tight in the middle, look like.
Tracker all over the chart. but still, this is going to be right on top of 20 seconds. 1985, good first lap.
That is a great first lap.
That's better first lap than McMurray's, who's on pole.
Yeah, that was a good, as a better 1 and 2. It's pretty good here. A little soft getting back to the gas, and then he gets loose bad off of turn 4.
And that costs him. Second lap is slower, 1988. So Keselowski, his qualifying woes here continue. 20th right now.
Yeah, the reason that tracker is jumping so much, we've got 3/10 separating about the top 25 cars. Take a look at this, DW.
Yeah, he just, when the thing sets back, he got out of that, he got in that corner a little too hard. It got him up the hill a little bit. Get up out of the groove at all right now, and the track is just really dirty, and I think that's what happened to him coming off 4.
Matt?
The 2 car was sideways, and for Casey Kane, how would you describe your fast lap?
It was a pretty good lap. Our Red Bull Toyota's been pretty fast yesterday and today. It's pretty slippery both laps. Just trying to get as much as you can, and still it could be a top 5 or 6 starting spot, which would be really good.
Jeff Gordon, the drive to end Hunger Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. 7 wins, 7 poles. The record is 8.
But you know what? I'd still say I've watched a lot of people run this racetrack, and there's nobody any better at this racetrack than Jeff Gordon. For 500 laps, put my money on him every time.
He's notorious for picking up a ton from lap 1 to lap 2, and that definitely is going to have to be the case on this.
I don't know. Thing didn't look very happy to me. The tail was hanging out down there in the middle of 3 and 4.
No, stopwatch didn't like it either, Darrell.
No,
20-31.
Loose, really loose getting into 1 that time. The back end wanting to swing around.
Well, tracker's moving the right direction. I don't know if it's going to move far enough soon enough. I think he'll be very happy with this run.
I think he was just loose, Larry. That car looked like the back kept swinging around on it.
And that's what he fought all day yesterday, even though he got a pretty decent practice qualifying lap in.
1984, 20th for the second fastest car and driver in practice.
From a 2031 to a 1984, that's a big
huge pickup. Half a second.
Yeah, but I just think the car was just not there for him today.
And the fastest man in practice is this one, David Reagan in the UPS Ford. He started 4th here in this race 3 years ago. His best short track start.
This car's been fast every week, in practice particularly. They had a little bit of problems sealing the deal, but it's got the speed in it.
Seemed like he was out of the gas a long time in 1 and 2, Darrell.
Yeah, and he couldn't get back to it quick enough either.
His first lap is flirting with that first lap that Jeff Gordon ran just a second ago,
which was a 20:31.
Just not getting back to the throttle soon enough and hard enough.
2011
happens here.
2011 for Reagan on lap 1.
See, right in there you could hear it. Boom.
Boy, he got off the corner so good, though. He drove it down in there. It stuck. He hesitated, picked it back up.
What is that thing doing?
I don't know what to say about that tracker.
We'll say it ends up 14.
I think we had tracker issues.
I know one thing. My eyes are better than that tracker.
1979, David Reagan is also disappointed as qualifying comes to a close. Had a little problem with the GPS on our tracker. But the 3 fastest drivers in practice all end up disappointed.
Well, later today, I mean, it's, it's sunnier and it's hotter and who knows.
But I think that goes back to what we said at the top of the show, just the unknowns coming into this qualifying session.
8 drivers to go, beginning with Tony Raines. Driving for Larry Gunselman here. This will be Raines' 9th start at Martinsville. He does have 1 top 10 start when he drove for Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman back in 07, wasn't it?
But just remember, Mike, Larry, we said at the beginning of qualifying, this is one of the hardest places you'll ever go to try to back up what you practice.
Yep. These guys pretty much qualifying for just where they start the race. We will have no one that will miss the show. 43 cars are here.
Right. To recap, there were 45 entries. Derek Cope withdrew, and Dennis Setzer, driving for Brian Keselowski, who's recovering from gallbladder surgery. Setzer crashed in practice yesterday when the brake pedal went to the floor entering turn 3. and they do not have a backup car. So 2030 for Tony Raines.
And Dennis was running well, quick enough to get in this show today.
That's true. Trevor Bayne, who right now sits 25th for the Wood brothers.
Still going to school, still observing, talking to people, finding out what do you do here? How do you get around this joint?
What I like about what he said was that he stayed and signed autographs till midnight. A lot of drivers would have been back in the motor coach long before then, but he is living the dream.
If they could have kept me, you know, I'd sit there that long too if I could stay awake. But he is 20 years old, you know.
That's right.
He'd have been throwing paper airplanes at you.
That's right. Wake up, DW.
Hermie Sadler will make his first Cup start since finishing 26th here last October. Now Andy Lally will be back in the car next week, and it won't look like this. Kevin Buckler's team is switching from Chevrolet to Ford beginning at Texas. 60 Cup starts for Hermie Sadler with a career best start of 6th right here at 2002.
Hermie had a pretty solid career in the NNS series.
Well, this is one of those times when the worst thing you can do here is beat yourself. Overdrive the car, get in trouble, back it up in a fence or something, and it doesn't pay any dividends today.
First lap on the Eco Fuel Saver Chevrolet, 2089. And Sadler finishes up with a 2064, so he is 37. Mike Skinner, J.J. Yaley next.
Casey Kane dominated in Darlington, conquering the track too tough to tame. Today, speed marches into Virginia as the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series tangles on the tight turns of Martinsville. Paint will be traded.
Oh, some contact.
Metal will be crushed.
Oh, and into the back.
And tempers will boil over. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Martinsville, today at 1:30 Eastern. Presented by Pep Boys, live on Speed.
I've been racing with Lucas Oil products for over a decade.
Gonna go green.
I put Lucas Oil products under the most abusive testing ground where failure is not an option. Motors, trannies, differentials, power steering, everything in that truck is Lucas Oil. With 87 wins and 7 championships, Lucas Oil is not just my sponsor, they're my advantage.
Good job, Bob. Awesome job.
The results speak for themselves.
You don't have to go bald.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
So at our company, we pay about the same, even though I'm a great driver and he's not so much.
Well, for a driver like you, I would recommend our new Snapshot discount. This little baby keeps track of your great driving habits so you can save money.
Amazing.
It's like an extra bonus savings.
He's my ride home.
How much can the Snapshot discount save you? Call or click today.
Our 6 career Cup poles, 2 poles and 3 wins here in the Camping World Truck Series. Mike in the big red Toyota, 36th on lap 1, 2028. This will be his 3rd start of the season.
Yeah, Landon Castle drove this car for a few races, now has a full-time ride in the 09 with James Finch. Todd Bodine was in his car last week, but they've elected they don't want Todd in the car when he's running a truck race as Todd pursues his 3rd NASCAR Camping World Truck Series championship this year.
Skinner fastest of the go-or-go-homers at a 2017, 35th overall. Monday on the Hub, Steve and Danielle deliver the recap from Martinsville and get you fired up for NASCAR racing in the Lone Star State. NASCAR Race Hub, Monday, 7 Eastern, only on Speed. J.J. Yaley, the Red Line Oil Chevrolet, will be our next qualifier. 2 top 10 starts.
Whoa.
1 top 5 here.
Man. He come off turn 4, and that thing did that waltz with him, and that didn't look good. Sorry, Mike, he was just sideways off 4 there. Thought he was in trouble.
He's qualified for all 5 races in 2011. The former USAC Triple Crown winner. I don't know, Darrell, if you're a former dirt track sprint car driver, is that your way of getting those tires heated up and get everything up to speed?
I
don't know.
I don't think that was intentional.
No.
There's easier ways to do it.
Right, okay.
I could hear his heartbeat all the way up here, so I don't think he intended to do that.
2069, first lap for JJ.
And he packed that thing in there.
And I think the rev limiter was a telltale sign. Starts cutting those cylinders out.
Hustling that thing.
38th out of 2030 for Phoenix's JJ Yaley. If you like it, you can win it. A one-of-a-kind Camaro, one-of-a-kind decal package with past winning moments at Texas. 10 semifinalists will be chosen to attend the race on April 9th. The winner is selected on race day and will pace the field for the start of the Samsung Mobile 500 in this 10 years rolling Camaro. TexasMotorspeedway.com is where you go to enter. Four cars to go. And first is the AMFMEnergy.com Toyota for Joe Nemechek, who has a long and storied career here back to 1994 when he first ran here for Larry Hedrick. And Front Row Joe has 2 front row starts here, including a pole.
Starts his first lap in this 87 car. Car looks solid. I'm just not sure a lot of speed's there for Joe right now. First lap 20:36.
What do you think that rev limiter's on, Larry? About 9,500? Looks like on our tracker.
I would say probably so. If you look at the tach to see how many RPMs it turns at the end of the straightaway.
Good pickup until he buzzed those tires coming off 4, but he is still the fastest of the Gorigo homers, 34th with a 2010.
At Talladega, the wildlife moves at 200 miles per hour. Go wild with 2-day tickets starting at $49 and kids 12 and under free all weekend. The errand's $4.99, Sunday, April 17th. Call 877-GO-TO-DEGA or visit TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Hello, sunshine, sweet as you can be.
Wake up to sweetness with Honey Nut Cheerio cereal. Kissed with real honey. And the 100% natural whole grain oats can help lower your cholesterol.
You are so sweet to me.
Be happy, be healthy.
Isn't it time to trade your work site for a campsite? Then you belong at Bass Pro Shops during the Spring into Savings Sale. Get Redhead Cedar Valley shirts and canvas cargo shorts, your choice for only $14.94. And save $20 on New Balance 608 cross trainers.
It's time to take matters into your own hands. AutoZone's got the advice and expertise you need to take on any job. Because do it yourself doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
No garage is complete until you fire up a hot rod grill. This realistic engine barbecue has a stainless grill, aluminum block, heads, and intake. Watch as your exhaust smoke comes right out of the zoomies. Order by phone or log on to hotrodgrills.com today.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Travis Quappin and Long John Silver's Ford. You'll see him later today in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Race here on Speed. Travis qualified 5th here in his very first Cup start in October 2004.
He jumped on over there, Larry. 30's quick.
Yeah. First go homer to get in the 19s, 1994.
Great lap, 30th fastest for Quappel. Wednesday night, an all-new Car Warriors. The All-Stars face the Challengers. 72 straight hours to build the ultimate VW Bug. That would give you some sleepless nights, wouldn't it?
Just like the. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I just like the way they've shrunk the cars now. They started off with a Cadillac, then they had a Camaro, now they're down to a Volkswagen.
Maybe one of those little Fiat 500s next, but it's Car Warriors Wednesday night at 9 Eastern, only on Speed.
Whether you want to or not, if you want to win, you're going to have 3 sleepless nights because you're going to be up 3 days and 3 nights.
That's right. Michael McDowell from Glendale, Arizona. This is his 4th trip to Martinsville with 3 different teams. He has 1 start in the top 35. Missed the show here last fall. Now next week, McDowell goes to the track that made him a fixture of every NASCAR highlight reel. That qualifying crash at Texas. He walked away.
Pretty good first lap.
36, 2012. That is a 10th better than Travis Quapple's first lap, who was the best of the go-or-go homers so far.
Got in there, got back in it hard. Nice. Coming.
34th for McDowell, 20:04, second fastest in this group. Thursday, the 40th anniversary Barrett-Jackson Collector Car Auction Tour comes to Florida. Palm Beach, where some of those cars are peachy Palm Beachy. Tune in beginning Thursday at noon Eastern to see what we mean. Only on Speed.
Can they have that with Mike Joy not there?
Are you not going to be there?
No,
He'll be in Texas with us.
I'm going to be with you in Texas.
I figured you'd go to that.
Hey, we'll send Rick Henry. Well, I'll miss Palm Beach, but enjoy being in Texas with you. Dave Blaney will be our final qualifier. He was the fastest of the go-or-go homers. New sponsor on Tommy Baldwin's Chevrolet All Sport body quencher. And Blaney has 2 top 10 starts here.
We know when it comes to qualifying, whether you're at Martinsville or Texas, it doesn't matter. Dave Blaney has a way of finding a little something extra no matter what he's driving. Buzz those rear tires come to take the white flag. First lap 2013.
Yep, 37th fastest. I would have spent a couple days in Palm Beach, Darrell, but with Texas being a Saturday night race, I'd pretty much be go and go home from Palm Beach. So we'll have fun in Texas.
Look at this lap right here by Dave Blaney. Lost a little bit through the middle and off, but still going to be a great lap for him.
He's the fastest go-or-go homer as usual. 1991 for Blaney. 29th overall. 14th pole for Earnhardt Ganassi Racing, and their first at Martinsville. 8th pole in 300 starts for Jamie McMurray, and the Rocket, whose first lap was the fastest, ends up second. Steve?
With Jamie McMurray, and Jamie, you guys have had some tough luck this season, so how big of a shot in the arm is this pole position?
Yeah, this is really big for our race team. We've had fast cars all year and just haven't had the luck and haven't been able to put the finishes together, but happy to have Vidya on board. First race with them, bright green car, and Bass Pro Shops, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Chevrolet, Liftmaster, everybody who is a part of our race team. You want to run as well as you can and get as much TV time and do everything you can, and we just haven't had that this year. So it's really big here to have the #1 pit stall. There's just, man, everything good from qualifying good at Martinsville.
Jamie, the pole position, pit selection, all that's great, but is your car okay on a long run? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I really thought we had the best car yesterday. I thought that we would qualify 10th to 15th because when we made our qualifying runs, I just couldn't get going quick enough. But when we made our first run in happy hour, we had the best average, and I thought our car would go longer before it would fall off versus anyone else. And we don't really have our car set up to make that one quick lap, but it's making that right now. So I'm really excited for tomorrow. It's big, like you say, to have the first pit stall, and our car it handles well.
Congratulations, Jamie.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Mike Joy.
Thanks, Steve. The top 10 has 4 Chevys, 1 Ford Allmendinger, and 5 Toyotas.
Second consecutive pole for Earnhardt Ganassi Racing. Montoya sat on it last week at Auto Club Speedway.
Really nice run by Bobby Labonte there in the 47 car. Great starting spot for him.
Nice run for David Rudeman, 8th.
Well, I see a lot of guys starting up near the front that's hunting their first win in a long time, and several hunting their first win, period.
Kind of surprising, the fastest 3 at practice all end up midfield. David Reagan, Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, and obviously they went out at about the same time. I don't know if anything changed or not, but something happened.
There you see Jimmy Johnson. They go out to put their work clothes on way back there.
43 cars, all will start. As you look through the back of the grid, and we get ready for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series setup, which is coming at you right across the break. So keep it right here on Speed. And we'll see you tomorrow on Fox with the Goodies 500. Hey, hot dogs!
Oh boy.
The setup is next.
No more, no more, no mas.